accountability by design, keeping operators in the AI gaming loop.
Hi everyone, I'm Martina, and it is a pleasure to be here to give you my keynote. And can I just say, it is a lovely event, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I'm going to speak to you about mitigating criminal liability of operators when AI does act illegally. So, my winning article does delve into this, but in this keynote, we're going to focus on 3 key measures. What procedures can operators use to prevent AI from acting illegally? And the second question that we're going to cover is what operators can do when AI does act illegally. So how are you going to clean up the mess? But first, I want you to imagine a cake with 3 layers. So when you have a cake and it's either burned or undone or just plainly tastes bad, you don't blame the oven. You blame the baker or the ingredients used or who supervised the whole procedure. I want you to think of the cake as a whole to be the AI system. And the 3 layers are going to be the procedures operators are going to do to ensure that AI does not act illegally. These procedures will then ensure that the AI system is compliant with obligations and national as well as international law, as well as be fair and transparent. So let's delve a bit into the first layer, this being an AI ethical review board. This is more of the national scale rather than the operator scale. This is because this board can be an extension of either, at least in Malta's case, the Malta Gaming Authority, if it is just specifically used for the gaming sector, or it can be part of the Media Digital Innovation Authority, that being the authority overseeing AI systems in general. This board would consist of professionals from cross sectors, among which can be law, compliance, business, and tech. Operators, before using AI in their system, in high-risk systems, would submit an application to the AI Ethical Review Board with a plan of why it is being used, how it will be used, and how will customers liaise or be affected by the AI system. Then, the AI Ethical Review Board will either accept the application or it would reject the application, of course. In the case of a rejection, though, the AI board will either submit suggestions to better develop the AI system, or else will submit reasons for which that system was not used, or the reason why which that system was rejected. So operators will not be given nothing at the end of the day. They can always develop their system further. The second job that the AI Ethical Review Board can use is then the constant analysis of the AI's use in these systems. So the board would then assess on a regular basis the use of the AI depending on how fair it is with operators, with customers, and how transparent it is in its ongoing work. This will ensure that the AI being used in the system is always of a quality standard. And so you're going to present good work at face value immediately. Now, the second layer of this cake is algorithmic audits. What are these audits? These are basically checks done on the AI on an internal basis. These audits would assess how the AI is making its decision, the data it is assimilating, and then the decision it makes, the final outcome on the whole operation. This would allow operators to learn how the AI acts and the thought process, at least, of how it makes its decision and final outcome. And in this case, it is important that risks which the AI may show will then be either prevented or ideally prevented. It is important as well that these audits are documented and kept for a certain amount of years or a certain period of time to ensure that there's always documentation proof of what is going on with the AI. Always remember, documentation is important in court unless it proves your guilt. So it's important to always have constant checks of how the AI is operating. The third layer of our cake is constant supervision and monitoring. How can this be done? This can be done through AI being more of an assist than an assistant rather than acting autonomously. So let me make a bit of a distinction between assist and autonomous. In the case of assistive AI, the AI is not working on its own. It's working with a human. I like to use the example of betting, like flagging bets. How does it work? So in the case of the assistive mode, the AI would be gathering the data and would flag any suspicious bets. Now, these bets would be given to a human risk analyst, and that analyst would analyze the data provided by AI and would then decide whether to act further or not, whether to open an investigation or rather put the case aside because it was a false alarm. In the case where AI acts autonomously, there would be no risk analyst involved, and the AI would just maybe suspend the accounts of the flagged bets. This is not ideal because if it was a false alarm, the account was basically suspended for no reason, and the customer, of course, would not be that happy. Therefore, when AI acts autonomously, the trust between the operator and the customer would be weak. Whereas if there is assistive AI, a human would be able to oversee the works of the AI system. Now, we've gone over the whole 3 layers of our cake. But, like everything does, the cake may still fall and the AI system may still act illegally. So, what can operators do when AI does act illegally? So what are the tools operators are going to do to clean up the cake? There are 3 tools. The first being that on the realization that AI has acted illegally, the operator would immediately notify the competent authority. So when the AI has acted illegally, you don't try to hide it, of course. You don't ignore it either, because that would show negligence. Instead, you go to the authority, submit a report immediately. This then goes into the second point, cooperation with the authority. On immediately notifying the authority of the illegality, it is important that then you cooperate with the authority, meaning that you submit all of your documents, ideally those algorithmic audits, showing that you have gone through all of the measures to try to prevent AI from acting illegally. But of course, there are always natural flaws that would then result in unwanted consequences. The third tool to clean up is the documentation. As I said previously, documentation is important because it shows who is responsible, why did the AI act in that way, and what measures were used to try and prevent it. Or was it known? Was it not known? These are all factors which are taken in by the authority on advising their penalty. So, we have gone through all of the layers, being AI ethical review boards, algorithmic audits, and constant supervision and monitoring. And then the tools to use to clean up AI, being documentation, cooperation, and immediate reporting, would drastically reduce the liability of the operators, and the penalty given is very reduced. Could be either a slap on the wrist, for example, but it reduces the risk of obtaining any personal liability on the operators, which Professor Felletti has just discussed in the previous segment. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.